Now that you know that emotional wellness isn't just important, it's everything, let's talk about how you can make it a priority in your life. Because we're all busy, right? Remember, we're certified chaos jugglers. But here's the thing. If you're too busy to take care of your mental and emotional health, then the truth is you're too busy to live your happiest life. If you're too busy to make sure that you have strong emotional health, then you're too busy to truly be able to handle what life throws your way.
Welcome to Becoming Tantalum with me, Megan Bennell. Discover your brightest self in a journey of transformation and resilience. Let's embark on this path together, starting now.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Becoming Tantalum, the podcast where we talk about all the things that have to do with you unlocking your full potential and living your best life. My name is Megan Bennell, and I am your host and life coach, mom of four, and I believe that I'm technically a certified chaos juggler. Does anybody else relate to that? I think that's probably highest on my resume. Guess what? For all of us out there, it's October. And that is such great news because do you know what October is? It is Emotional Wellness Month. I know that pumpkin spice lattes are super important, but we're going to talk today about something that is even more vital than that, and that's your emotional health. I'm talking about the get your mind right so that you can thrive in every area of your life kind of thing. So grab your PSL or whatever makes you feel comfy because today we're going to dive into why emotional wellness is the secret sauce to becoming the best version of yourself. Let's start with this. Emotional wellness is literally everything. This is the one thing in your life that ripples out into every other area of your life, period. You know how they say if your mind isn't right, nothing else will be? That's not just some quote that you see on Pinterest. It's the truth. When your emotions are out of balance, it affects every part of your life, from your relationships and work to how you feel about yourself. I mean, all of it. It has to do with everything. Even the great Brene Brown, love myself some Brene Brown, she said, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. And part of owning our story is taking charge of our emotional health. So let's give us a little stat here. So here's my stat alert. Did you know that a recent study by the American Psychological Association found that 75% of adults reported feeling stressed and overwhelmed at some point just in this last month? I just mathed that, and that's 3/4, a huge majority. And nearly 40% say they never or rarely practice emotional self-care. I mean, y'all, what are we doing? We're feeling terrible and we're not doing anything about it. On top of that, not to freak you out, but ignoring mental wellness doesn't just make you feel meh, and it does, but it can lead to anxiety, burnout, and even physical issues like high blood pressure and heart disease. So it's not just a mental and emotional issue that you're having, you actually can cause some physical damage as well. We're going to start with something that I really want you to tattoo on your brain. Just imagine you're tattooing it. If you don't like tattoos, you're putting it in there permanently. Emotional wellness is not a luxury. I'll repeat. Emotional wellness is not a luxury. It's not something that you get after you've checked everything off of your to-do list, right? And it's definitely not something that's only for people who have extra time. If you've been waiting for permission to make your emotional wellness a priority, here it is. I give you permission. This is the most important thing you will do for yourself. You deserve it. Imagine this. You're trying to drive a car on an empty tank. Has anybody ever done that? I literally have. So what happens is you can coast for a little bit, but eventually that car is just going to stop. And no amount of pressing on the gas pedal, no four-letter words is going to fill it back up with gas instantly while you're in the middle of nowhere, right? And let's be real. Nobody wants to be stranded in the middle of nowhere, and certainly not stranded in life because they didn't take a second to fill up their tank. Your emotional wellness is your gas. That's what drives you. That's what determines whether you can go a long distance or a short distance, whether it's a smooth ride or not. That's your gas in life. So take care of your mind and your emotions, and then you'll have the fuel to handle whatever life throws your way, because that's something you can't control, right? We've talked about control a lot. But if you have a strong emotional health, you will be able to handle with much more grace and with much less struggle anything that life throws your way. Let's get a little bit nerdy for a second. There's a lot of hard science to back up just how important emotional wellness is, which is probably why they named an entire month after it, right? That is so important for your overall success and your happiness. Remember, I said it ripples into all aspects of your life. A new resource that I found while I was looking up information for this podcast, there was a study from Talent Smart, and they found that emotional intelligence, summarized as EI, which is all about being in tune with your emotions and those of others, accounts for 58% of success in all types of jobs. That's over half. That means the better you understand and manage your emotions and recognize those of other people, the better you're going to do in your career and in your relationships. 58%. That's not something that we want to ignore. Another study that was published in the Journal of Mindfulness showed that practicing mindfulness, just being present and aware of your emotions, can lead to a reduction in anxiety, winning, and depression, also winning, improving your relationships, still winning, and increase overall happiness. And I don't know about you, but who doesn't want to be happier? I don't think that I've ever met anyone that says, nah, I'm good. I don't need any more happiness in my life. This is that secret sauce. Now that you know that emotional wellness isn't just important, it's everything, let's talk about how you can make it a priority in your life. Because we're all busy, right? Remember, we're certified chaos jugglers. But here's the thing, if you're too busy to take care of your mental and emotional health, then the truth is you're too busy to live your happiest life. If you're too busy to make sure that you have strong emotional health, then you're too busy to truly be able to handle what life throws your way. Before we get into some steps that you can take, I love giving you guys steps and actions. I want to remind you that your emotions are real. I'm never going to teach you or guide you to discount what you're feeling. All of your emotions need to be felt and understood and processed. You can get to the point where you can choose what it is that you're feeling. And then and now, even before you get to that point, you need to know that all of them are real. So I know that when we talk about you need to be aware of them and they need to be felt and they need to be processed, that seems like a really long, drawn out process and maybe even a bit woo woo and fluffy, but it's not. Actually, once you get aware and caught up on what's going on with you in you, then it's much easier for you to be able to become aware, for you to be able to process your emotions and do that quickly with like super simple tools that you can use. It's that process of taking the time, making it a priority to be aware, to accept what it is that you're feeling, understand them, and process them. And I don't know about you, but I sometimes, this was probably long ago, but I can definitely have said that I identified as an emotional wreck. I don't know if you've used that term before, but it was like my emotions were 100% in control of me and not the other way around. On top of that, I feel like I played hide and seek with my emotions. And I have so many clients that can also identify as one of those two things, either an emotional wreck or they're playing hide and seek with their emotions. But here's the thing, emotions are real and they're going to find you. So whether you are eating them down, ignoring them, pushing them away, drinking them down, working them down, they're still there. They still need to be acknowledged. They still need to be processed. And if you don't do that, then they tend to come up naturally at the very worst times and have repercussions that they didn't need to have to begin with. Because you really can be aware, think through, process emotions fairly quick when you're taking care of your emotional health. Once you're caught up with how that works and what you can do, giving your emotions that time and that space and the thought that they need to be felt and to process can be incredibly easy for you to do. That allows you to be in control of them instead of a prisoner to your emotions. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to learn today is taking that first step so that you can be aware of what they are and start making progress on improving your emotional health. So, first step, my suggestion to you is check in with yourself. Check in with yourself regularly, like on a daily basis or more. And I know that you are checking your phone like 7,000 times a day to see what's going on with socials or for notifications. So take a few of those times and take a second to check in with you. Check on your notifications. Ask yourself, how am I feeling today? What's weighing on me? What do I need? It doesn't have to be a big dramatic journaling session, although it can be, that's helpful, but just pausing to notice what you're emotionally experiencing is the first step. You're just becoming aware. So, step one, check in with yourself. Step two, set boundaries like a boss. These are going to be your best friends once you get used to using them. So let's talk about boundaries for a second. If you're saying yes to everyone and everything, you're going to burn out faster than a cheap candle. Emotional wellness requires you to have boundaries, whether it's telling your coworker that you can't take on that extra project, or whether it's letting your kids know that you need 10 minutes of silence, or whether it's saying no to an RSVP to a dinner or to a party that you know that you're not going to be able to actually be present there. Boundaries protect your peace. It's uncomfortable if you don't have boundaries now to first establish them. But once you do, that is how you maintain your peace. And it's a huge part of emotional wellness. So, step one, check in with yourself. Step two, set boundaries like a boss. Third, practice emotional self care. That's the fun part, right? And emotional self care doesn't have to be an entire day at the spa. Although, if you're going, invite me, I'll totally go with you. But it can be simple things, little things, a walk, meditating, petting your dog, spending time with people who lift you up, finding motivational things on the socials instead of looking through your feed, even having a little mini dance party boot, boot, in your living room, right? Find what works for you. Something little, something short, and do that regularly. The next step is to reach out when you need support. There is no shame in reaching out for help when you need it. Whether it's to a therapist, a coach, to a friend, it doesn't matter. Asking for help doesn't make you weak, it makes you smart. So let's face it, right? We're not meant to do this whole life thing alone. So don't do it alone. Reach out for help. That's it. So, four things that you can start. You can do any of those any day. You can check in with yourself, you can set boundaries, you can practice some emotional care, and you can reach out when you need help. What happens when you are making your emotional health a priority is amazing. So, buckle up because things are about to get really good. When you prioritize your wellness, you start showing up as the best version of yourself consistently, all the time. You might be calmer, more resilient, better able to handle stress and the things that life sends your way. You stop reacting to every little thing and then, regretting those reactions later. And you really start responding with intention. You get to control the power that you have and really flex it in the way that is true to you and the best version of yourself. Oprah even said, you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. Not only are you going to feel better, which is huge, but your relationships will improve. Your work performance will skyrocket. You'll just enjoy life more. Less stress, less feeling like a prisoner, less feeling out of control, and feeling just like you, loving life, and being able to handle those hard things without so much struggle. Because your mind and emotions, when they're in a good place, you're able to handle anything that comes your way and respond carefully without losing your cool. Here is what I have for you. This is what I would love for you to do for the rest of this month. It's only a couple more weeks. I know that you can do this. My challenge for you in the rest of this emotional wellness month, I want you to commit to one thing just one thing every day that supports your emotional wellness. Just one thing. So it could be 5 minutes to breathe. It could be setting a boundary or journaling about your feelings. It doesn't matter. One thing, just do something. It's time to fill up that emotional tank so that you can be that unstoppable force that I know you're meant to be. I also want to offer you something to encourage people to take this stuff because I have seen the difference in so many lives that it has made. Honestly, regardless of why clients come my way, almost every single one of them, we start here. And the reason is that this really is that secret sauce to making anything else possible. I want you to experience that difference, to see this and the results that it's going to give you in your life. So I'm going to offer a very limited number of spots to new clients who want to jumpstart their journey to emotional wellness. So, if that study where we talked about all the individuals being super overwhelmed and stressed rings true to you, or if you resonate with the concept of your life being all about surviving and not thriving, if you're constantly buffering, eating, drinking, being busy to avoid feeling hard emotions and aspects of your life that are difficult, I'm talking to you. If you don't have complete control over your emotions and know how to flex your power in that realm, I'm talking to you. If you're not doing something right now to improve your emotional wellness, my friend, I'm talking to you. So here's the deal. This time only, right now, you can start changing your relationship with your emotions, with your happiness, with your life by working with me in an accelerated program. It's only going to be 3 months. It'll be deep. It'll be quick. It'll be effective. It's just you and I. It's not a group program. And it's going to be at a special rate just for the month of October. And it's only offered right now. So I'm going to take on only 5 new clients in this accelerated program. 3 months that will change your life. So if you're interested in learning more and you're ready to start loving your life and feeling your stress melt away and improving your relationships, then reach out. I'm going to spend an hour with you to start, and we will get into what's going on. I'll ask all kinds of questions, really get a big picture, and we're going to create a plan for you. And if you are ready for change, and if that all sounds good, everything that we talk about, then you can join this accelerated program. So that first hour is on me. All you have to do is reach out. You can go to my website. It's tantalumcoaching.com, which is TANTALUM coaching.com. And on that very first page, you're going to see a button that says, yep, let's chat. Click on that. Give me your info. And in the message, make sure that you mention that it's coming from the podcast. That's where you heard this. And I will reach out. We'll set up a time and we'll just chat. You don't have to do anything but reach out. I will take care of the rest. And worst case scenario, you decide that you aren't ready. Well, perfect. You're going to have a plan of what it is that you can work on attacking on your own. But if you're ready for a ton of value, a ton of guidance, a ton of accountability to help you really jumpstart your emotional wellness, then let's do this. My friend, it's your time. The calendar even tells us that it's time. So let's do this together. I would be excited to be by your side as you take control of your emotional health. All right, my friends, as we wrap up today's episode of Becoming Tantalum, emotional wellness isn't a luxury. Remember, you tattooed that on your brain. It is a necessity. So for this month, take me up on that challenge and make a commitment to yourself to do one thing, just one thing each day to work on your emotional wellness. You deserve it, and your life is going to thank you for it. Don't forget to share this episode with anyone that you think might need a reminder to take care of their emotional health in some way, to really improve their emotional wellness. And let me know how you're doing this month. Reach out on the socials or reach out through my website and let me know what you're finding is working for you. I would absolutely love to hear from you. And if you want to meet with me and we can talk about an accelerated path to really jumpstart this process for you, then reach out and I would be happy to schedule some time to sit down and get to know you. So I will see you next time, my friends. Enjoy this week of focusing on you and your secret sauce of emotional wellness. I'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining me today. If you want to take all of these concepts and tools to a deeper level, apply them to your life, and watch the transformation happen, I would love for you to join the Tantalum Tribe. That's a monthly membership where all of our community has access to live coaching, self-paced courses, guest coaches, podcast study guides, anonymous question boards, and more. You too can transform your life using the tools and strategies that we have with accountability built in from our community. I really hope that you join us at tantalumcoaching.com. That's TANTALUM coaching.com. Just click Join the Tribe. I can't wait to see you in there.
An Ironic Media production. Visit us at ironickmedia.com.